And something else I'm very interested to see is if this fractal pattern is going to play out. When we first broke above 20,000, Bitcoin ran up, we went parabolic, we found a high, a lower high, we broke below the short-term parabolic trend line and found a lower low, and then created a double bottom. Right now, Bitcoin went up, parabolic again, saw a high, a lower high, broke below the parabolic trend line, found a lower low, and maybe this is a fractal. We know that this market has a lot of bot-driven movement. Maybe Bitcoin finds a double bottom, gets that momentum it needs, and breaks out again. So keep that in mind as well. We do have a very similar style price action to what we saw, at the end of January. And I do see this as a strong possibility. It really wouldn't surprise me. We see this stuff happen all the time. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin and also a few key news articles. As always, before we get started, smash up the like button. It helps out this channel a lot. It helps people discover this channel. If you like this channel, smash up that like button and also subscribe if you're new. Looking at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, since October, we have been on a non-stop pump with very few corrections in between. And so far, the bull market support line has come in just along the 10-week EMA. And in the last bull market, the blue 21-week EMA was the main bull market support line. Now it's currently the 10-week EMA, at least as it stands right now. And this does come as a surprise to some people. But if you're looking at Plan B's stock to flow model, which is what we have on the screen here, in the 2017 bull run, Bitcoin was actually moving slower than it is now. This cycle is actually happening faster than the previous cycles. And this is really all to do with just the circumstances that we are in with the global economic environment and all the incessant money printing and everybody looking for a nice hedge against inflation because they know it's coming at some point. So as long as Bitcoin is holding this 10-week EMA, then overall we are maintaining this trend. Then we are looking to continue up, looking to push for higher highs, new all-time highs, and continue moving up this stock to flow channel. And according to the stock to flow model, about 280,000 is supposed to be the average target in a Bitcoin bull run. One reason I'm bringing this up is because a Bloomberg strategist recently said that $400,000 Bitcoin would rhyme with history. And if we're looking at Plan B, the creator of the stock to flow model, he suggested that 288,000 is the average target for Bitcoin in a bull market. But he also mentioned how Bitcoin could overshoot this target and that it's likely that it does overshoot the $288,000 target. And going back to the article about the Bloomberg analyst who said if Bitcoin's present performance is compared to its performance of 2013, Bitcoin is on track to hit $400,000 despite multiple corrections, according to senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, Mike McGlone. And you can see this picture from Bloomberg Intelligence, and he seems to have this, average upside target, this upward sloping resistance line, which does seem to come in closer to 400,000. And with everything that happened last year, I'm pretty sure the world just set a record for the most money printed ever. And this is causing Norwegian billionaires to capitulate into Bitcoin. Something that this billionaire said, Øystein Stray Spetalen, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly. He just actually purchased or invested in a crypto exchange, Miria X, and he also bought Bitcoin. And he previously was a skeptic. And something that he said previously was, the only thing I have made an analysis of is that Bitcoin today consumes as much energy as all of Norway's energy consumption. It is extremely environmentally hostile. If one really meant anything about Bitcoin, the authorities in the EU should ban this immediately. Then you could cut CO2 emissions considerably, he says, and describes it as a nonsense currency. And then what he said about Bitcoin was, it's just nonsense. We are all doing well with the payment systems that are in place today. But now we see that he's investing in crypto exchanges and he's investing in Bitcoin. And his reason for not investing in Bitcoin originally was the environment. Oh no, it's so bad for the environment. If you look at what this guy is holding, this billionaire, I mean, he's got investments in oil and gas drilling, iron and steel, airlines, all kinds of things that are horrible for the environment. You can see that he's holding, tens of millions of dollars in these types of industries. And it's just hilarious, because what it goes to show is that it's all about politics. They don't really care about the environment. They're kind of just going along with what, politics says. It's all just virtue signaling, trying to fit in, making sure that you look good. And in reality, they all want to buy some Bitcoin. That's what we know. So the billionaires are capitulating into Bitcoin because they know what's going to happen. Now, moving back to Bitcoin on the daily chart, we can see that we are starting to form a higher low here. If you go to log scale and you pull up your trend line and you mark up the upward sloping support line, it shows that we did actually fall below this upward sloping parabolic trend line. We did actually start to trade sideways out of it. And this has people, worried a little bit. Something that we need to do right now that Bitcoin is actually starting to achieve is reclaim the 10-day and 21-day EMAs. Yesterday, Bitcoin did close the daily above those moving averages. In the last two major run-ups, after we pulled back, once Bitcoin started closing the dailies above these two moving averages, that's when things really started to take off once again. It appears that we are starting to achieve that right now, so we could find momentum and actually continue upward despite having moved below this parabolic trend line. So we got to hold those moving averages. That's key. And also another key thing here is the MACD on the daily. Every single cross has resulted in major upside or major downside for the entire parabolic run up so far. Every time we got a cross, there was a major move as a result. This market has a ton of momentum right now, so the MACD is very reliable. And if we can see the MACD on the daily come back up and get a nice bullish cross once again, then I would say that it's very likely that Bitcoin would break out to new highs, to new all-time highs once again. Something else to consider is that if Bitcoin does start to find lower highs or horizontal lows or lower lows, this could indicate that we do have a loss of momentum for the time being, and that we would look to maybe come back to that 42K level to find support before running up again. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because we did something like that did take place in 2017, when we first got that breakout of the all-time high. We were going parabolic, and then we broke the parabolic trend line, traded sideways, and dumped. Just to bring up a potential bearish scenario, I think it would only be a temporary bearish scenario. We would very likely recover and continue higher. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. But if you're a bear out there, this is something that you could be looking out for, although I think this market does have enough momentum. And something else I'm very interested to see is if this fractal pattern is going to play out. When we first broke above 20,000, Bitcoin ran up, we went parabolic, we found a high, a lower high, we broke below the short-term parabolic trend line and found a lower low, and then created a double bottom. Right now, Bitcoin went up, parabolic again, saw a high, a lower high, broke below the parabolic trend line, found a lower low, and maybe this is a fractal. We know that this market has a lot of bot-driven movement. Maybe Bitcoin finds a double bottom, gets that momentum it needs, and breaks out again. So keep that in mind as well. We do have a very similar style price action to what we saw, at the end of January. And I do see this as a strong possibility. It really wouldn't surprise me. We see this stuff happen all the time. All of this is really short-term stuff. You guys know I'm very bullish on crypto. I think that we do have a shot at continuing this bull run all the way up until the summer. I would say the timing at the end of the bull run would probably take place anywhere from like June to, I guess, somewhere in the beginning of September, because that is also summertime. Somewhere in this range right here is where I see the market topping out. Most people disagree with me. Most people think we're going to go for another year or until December or 2 years, or we're just never going to see a bear market ever again. I completely disagree. I think that there will always be a bear market, and I actually think we're going to top out maybe in the summer of this year. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what happens. I could be wrong about that, but that is the trajectory that we're on at the moment. But everything is subject to change. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. And also, if you want to see why I think we're going to be topping out in the summer, I do have a video popping up on the top of the screen right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video.